Halle Bailey on how The Little Mermaid reimagines the Disney heroine. 4 years ago, Halle Bailey didn't anticipate that she would be called for the main role in Disney's live-action adaptation of The Little Mermaid. Ariel, the Disney princess who gives up her voice and mermaid tail to be with a spineless, savage, harpooning fish-eater human, in the words of Ariel's overprotective father, King Triton, couldn't be played by singer-actor Bailey, despite the fact that she had been writing music since she was 8 years old, opened for Beyoncé on the European leg of her Formation tour at 16, and received 5 Grammy. Halle Bailey, singer-turned-actress, the version of Ariel in my head was the one we all know and love. Pale skin and bright red hair. She didn't look like me, the 23-year-old Atlanta native says, dressed in sweats, makeup-free, her caramel locks pulled back in a ponytail, as she takes her trainers off and curls up on an overstuffed velvet sofa. Her casual look tonight, a contrast to her event style that mixes up incomers such as Kukuleli Shaheen with the venerable Balmain and Valentina, more closely resembles that of a university student taking a study break than the breakout movie star she's poised to be. Do you want chocolate chip cookies? They're famous for that here, she offers, as her assistant, Patrick, brings her a mug of tea. Here is a tiny production room at Westlake Recording Studios in West Hollywood, California, near to her first adult apartment, where Bailey's been spending her evenings working on a solo album. The modest-looking red brick studio, its lobby still quaintly decorated with foil hearts from Valentine's Day the week before, is famous not only for its fresh-baked cookies but for producing the highest-selling album of all time, Michael Jackson's Thriller. A small space heater sits between us, which Bailey warms her hands over from time to time. Bailey, who was previously best known as one half of the pop R&B duo Chloe x Hal with her older sister Chloe, 24, was noticed by The Little Mermaid director Rob Marshall after she and Chloe sang the duet Where Is the Love by Donny Hathaway and Roberta Flack at the 2019 Grammy Awards. I was watching with John DeLuca when I asked, John, who is that? She appears to be an angel, Marshall says. It is widely acknowledged that the former dancer-turned-filmmaker, whose 2002 feature debut, Chicago, won 6 Academy Awards, revived moviegoers' enthusiasm in watching Broadway productions on the big screen. Hal is stunning, but she also exhibits an uncanny intuition. This was extremely crucial for a character that is a mermaid and a teenage girl, who has to have this combination of strength, passion and courage, as well as a kind of naivety and innocence. Although Bailey only remembers her audition jitters, I get so nervous. Bubble guts, everything. And I'm like, I'll probably never hear anything back again. Marshall has a vastly different account. She was the very first actress we saw for the role, he says. She came in and she sang Part of Your World, and by the end of it I was crying. I couldn't believe the depth and the truth and the simplicity and passion she brought to the song. It was just so moving. No one ever doubted that Bailey could sing. What Bailey was capable of as an actor, however, had gone largely untested. Her biggest role prior to Mermaid had been on Grownish, Kenya Barris and Larry Wilmore's Blackish sitcom spin-off, in which she and Chloe played twins Sky and Jazz Forster for 4 series, in addition to writing and performing the show's theme song. Can she hold the film? Can she act with Javier Bardem and Melissa McCarthy? Marshall says of the questions he initially had about Bailey, but every time she came in, when she read, she got more confidence. She understood nuance, she understood truth, and she showed all of those wonderful colors that Ariel needs. We started to see other people, he adds, of the auditions that followed. Many other people, hundreds of other people, but the bar had already been set, and no one ever surpassed that bar. Surges of racism, but also of hope, followed Halle Bailey's casting in The Little Mermaid. As certain as Marshall was that Bailey had, in his words, claimed the role of Ariel from the start, a small but vocal group decried the casting as little more than a woke conspiracy. After Bailey was announced as the lead, the Twitter hashtag #NotMyAriel started doing the rounds to argue, in the most vague and incoherent terms, that the entirely fictional mermaid could only be white. Most popular, Elsa Hosko Festival de Cannes 2023. Fashion, Cannes Film Festival 2023. All the red carpet looks from Wednesday, May 24th. By Elina Pougin. Fashion, the sexiest dresses as seen on Dua Lipa, Alessandra Ambrosio and so many others at the Cannes Film Festival 2023. By Heloissalessy. Diddy Stone arrive at l'Aéroport de Nice pour assister au Festival de Cannes. Fashion, what are the celebrities wearing to arrive at the Cannes Film Festival 2023? By Jessica Scmama. Bailey was, and continues to be, remarkably unbothered by that static. I don't really let that affect me, she says. I mean, I grew up in Georgia. I'm from the deep south. Being a black woman, in general, you just know the way things are and how people sometimes are just blatantly racist. Bailey credits her paternal grandparents, natives of Moncks Corner, South Carolina, a town outside of Charleston named after a plantation slaveholder, for grounding her perspective. The version of Ariel in my head was the one we all know and love. Pale skin and bright red hair. She didn't look like me. We were just in Dubai and saw her show, Bailey says, referring to the 1-hour private concert the Renaissance artist was reportedly paid $24 million to stage. heralding the opening of the Atlantis the Royal Hotel. She's so normal in person, but then you see her perform and see how immensely talented and magical her voice is. It's just mind-boggling when I think about it. Low-key in person, but a high-wattage performer. That could easily describe Bailey, too. I try not to glorify this whole entertainment industry because it's easy to get caught up in it. I don't try to think of all the stuff that comes with it and how massive it could be, because that's the part that feels like pressure, she says. As we say goodbye, she gives me a hug and tells me she appreciates me, twice, in an old-fashioned way that reflects the familial roots she's determined to stay close to. When I strip that away and say, God put me here for a reason. I was given this opportunity. Am I giving back in the right way? She smiles. Hopefully, at the end of this life, wherever and whatever that is, I'll know I've done that.